So here we see a 4-mark question that's asking us to identify and explain one factor that may account for the move to the symmetrical family as referred to in item A. Now, questions like this that have an item that are asking you to identify and explain one only really require you to briefly state a reason and then also to develop this into more depth. Now here we can see we've got this item which is particularly helpful because it tells us all about the nature of the symmetrical family. So if you enter the exam and you're unsure of what you're writing about, the item is a massive clue in terms of some kind of thoughts that you could include in your response. Here, there are a range of things that you could discuss in terms of the move towards the symmetrical family. You could talk about the rise of feminism, okay, and the change in women's attitudes and how this led them to reject the housewife role. You could talk about legal changes such as the Equal Pay Act and the Sex Discrimination Act in 1975 and how these gave women more equality and more status within the workplace. You could talk about more effective birth control and how this enables women to combine motherhood with paid work. And you could also discuss technological developments which created opportunities for sharing home-based leisure activities such as computer games, so men now spend more time in the home. The one we're going to choose is the first one, the rise of feminism since the 1960s. So, in thinking of a response, we've created it as so. You can see here in my first paragraph, I am noting that item A describes the symmetrical family as a place where family members have a similar contribution to the family home. Wilmot and Young noted that the symmetrical family became the most typical family structure in their 1973 research. Here in paragraph 1, I am just outlining what a symmetrical family is. And also, I'm tying in the item by mentioning it at the start, saying item A describes, and also by using Wilmot and Young's 1973 research. In paragraph 2, I continue to say, one reason for this may be the impact of the rise of feminism that had taken place throughout the 1960s. Women's attitudes towards family life and the wider opportunities available to them in a changing economy led many women to reject the housewife role. So here I'm developing my thinking, I'm explaining exactly how this change in family structure, this change in the roles taken in the family to get this symmetry between the husband and the housewife role, and I'm developing that point further. I'm continuing in this next paragraph to add a little bit more depth by saying this rejection of the housewife role was the husband in the home in the 1970s taking on more of the work within their home, balancing out the roles and their contribution to family life. So I'm tying it back into the question that's actually asked, talking about why we're moving or why we saw this move or why Wilmot and Young saw this move towards the symmetrical family becoming the most typical type of family structure.